Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all doing tonight? We're going to give this the old college try. How are you all doing tonight? I want to start off by thanking you all for being here tonight as we celebrate our 20th anniversary and all the successes that have come along with it, including the passage of civil unions. What a tremendous year this has been. Frankly, what a tremendous 20 years it's been. I've had the pleasure of serving on the board of Equality Illinois now for over 6 years. In that time alone, I've seen some pretty remarkable accomplishments and have had the privilege of working with some pretty amazing and inspiring people, commonly known as our community's heroes. We will hear from one of them later, Representative Greg Harris, the chief sponsor of the civil union bill and one of my personal heroes. Another one of these people is somebody we just heard from, and that's Art Johnston. At this time, I would like to deviate from the program for a special award presentation. Although this award has been a lifetime in the making, the award itself has been kept secret for over a year now. In fact, there are only a handful of us that know anything about it. And as I'm sure you can all appreciate, keeping a secret among a bunch of queens is just about as realistic as two of you wearing the same outfit tonight. But we managed. It's not often that we have the occasion to present a Lifetime Achievement Award. And when we do, it's not always that the recipient is willing to accept it. Because for most of our community's heroes, they do what they do because it's the right thing, not for the accolades that follow. And so when I proposed awarding the Lifetime Achievement Award, we agreed that the only way that it would happen is if it were a complete surprise. For we feared that this person's knowledge of the award would stop us dead in our tracks. And so, at this time, please direct your attention to the screens for the introduction of the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Art Johnston was one of the original co-founders of the Federation, and I consider Art to be the godfather of gay politics in the state of Illinois. Art's been involved in every single important piece of anti-discrimination legislation going back to the late 80s. That's the city, the county, and the state. And I sincerely don't think we would be where we are today without the help of Art Johnston.
I started working with Art more closely when I became the mayor's liaison to the LGBT community. And because my office was in a role of reaching out to all the different community groups and statewide groups as well in the state, we became colleagues, if you will, and started to work together and then eventually became friends.
Art's style of leadership is that of an eternal optimist. Art's always hopeful, and when he gets going about something, it's contagious. When you start listening to Art, you just want to be part of what he's talking about.
He's able to convince people to do really what they don't want to do.
I guess Art got me one day and he needed to talk to the late mayor of Rosemont, Don Stevens. He was a big Republican. And there was a bill down in Springfield that Art Johnson desperately needed the votes on. So he said to me, is there ever a chance of meeting him? And I said, sure. So I called him up. We set up an appointment. And Art went with me, and we had a nice meeting with the mayor. And Art got his votes. Art also asked him if he could open a bar out there. And the mayor said to him that he would consider it under the right circumstances.
He has tirelessly given his time and efforts to make this happen. You know, he works quietly. He kind of is very diplomatic about what he does, and he still has the energy to do this.
Art had a vision and a drive and the perseverance to see it through. He sort of opened our eyes up and has brought us really into the modern times and modern thinking.
When I think about Art Johnston and I think about the organization that started as the Illinois Federation for Human Rights, I think about the enormous amount of tenacity that one must have as you start an organization, that you must ride the waves of disappointment and success because they all come forward, and that you have to be consistent. And Art has been a consistent presence, a consistent face for this organization for 20 years. And I think all of us are very much indebted to him for his work.
Art, I hope, despite your insanely busy schedule, that once in a while you sit back and reflect and relish the accomplishments that you've helped bring to this community, because you really should.
To help me present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Art Johnston, please join me in welcoming somebody who is also a hero to our community, someone who has become one of our community's most important friends and advocates, the Mayor of the City of Chicago, Mayor Richard M. Daley.
Good evening. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Norma. Thank you, LGBT community. Please sit down. I'd like to, first of all, to recognize Senator Dawn Clark-Netsch, who is a mentor for all those in government and politics, and she has helped me tremendously in my political career in government. I really appreciate to Governor Quinn, to Greg Harris, and all the elected officials that are here, and those that are running for office, which is really important here in our great city, and to the community, and to Art Johnston. First of all, I want to thank the community for being such a pro-community on behalf of our city. And thank you for making me a better mayor and a better citizen. Over the years of working together on behalf of a lot of issues dealing with the community, but most importantly, what you've accomplished in our city, in all aspects of government, in all aspects of the private community, what you've accomplished in building relationships between our city and your community. I thank you for making this a better city. I thank the community for their involvement in our city to make our city, I believe, the best city for the LGBT community. And I'm very, very proud of that. I'm proud of all the council members. I'm proud of all the Hall of Fame representatives over many years, and those who are not with us to remember the story they told continually. And in 2004, right before the Democratic Convention, I was interviewed by the national press. And they asked me a question. They said, Mayor, what do you believe? Do you think the community should get married? I said, yes, they should get married in 2004. But the interesting thing, I got many calls from Washington, D.C., and they said, I think you went too far. What are you talking about? I said, you're involved in a community. I went too far. Is it an embarrassment? Well, we think you should not be saying that. I said, well, I'm going to keep saying it the rest of my life. And so, whatever you need from me in regards to that issue of marriage, whether going to Washington or Springfield, you have me as a citizen and as a former mayor. I know you're honoring Art Johnston tonight, whom I've had the privilege of knowing many, many years, in a working relationship because I did not know him very well. And the relationship built up. Maybe we were this far apart. Then all of a sudden we got to know each other better and better and understood the issues and educating me about many issues. And I want to thank Art for that great commitment he had made, not on behalf of the city of Chicago and myself. Art was in the forefront of equality, many others here in the room and those who are not with us. And he was one who helped me tremendously in many difficult situations and some other situations that we handled very well. But Art, I know you're being honored by the community. You're one of the founders. I congratulate you. And I want to thank you for not only giving back to the community, but giving back to the city of Chicago. You are truly a great Chicago citizen. And I am just here to congratulate you and thank you for making me a better mayor and a better citizen. And a friend of yours, Art, congratulations and thank you.
Please join me in honoring Equality Illinois Lifetime Achievement Award winner Art Johnston. And we all know behind every hero there is a leading lady. Please help me welcome Pepe Peña.